Augustine was a Roman Christian philosopher who blended classical thought with Christian doctrine. For him, faith precedes understanding. One must believe in order to truly comprehend. Ultimately, truth is found through divine illumination. Augustine thought that our souls long for eternal truth, beauty, and goodness, things only a true religion can fully provide. Earthly pleasures, he argued, are fleeting and can never fully satisfy. He emphasized the idea of original sin, teaching that human beings are born with a tendency toward wrongdoing and need divine grace to be saved. He also saw history as a struggle between the city of God and the city of man, one oriented toward eternal life and the divine, the other toward earthly goods. His vision shaped much of medieval Christian thought and Western philosophy. Blaise Pascal was a French thinker. His philosophy blends religious faith and existential anxiety. He saw reason as powerful but ultimately insufficient to answer life's deepest questions. In his thoughts, he reflected on the human condition. We are both great and wretched, capable of profound insights and yet prone to error and misery. His famous wager argued that belief in God is a rational bet. If God exists, belief leads to infinite gain. If not, nothing is lost. This is not a proof of God's existence, but a pragmatic appeal to faith. Underlying Pascal's thought is a tension between reason and the heart. He believed the heart has reasons reason does not know. For him, true wisdom comes through humility, grace, and a deep encounter with the mystery of being. Pascal helped pave the way for later Christian existentialists. Søren Kierkegaard, often called the father of existentialism, was a Danish philosopher who emphasized the individual's subjective relationship with truth and God. He argued that authentic faith requires a leap, not rational proof. He criticized institutional religion for making Christianity comfortable and impersonal. True faith, he believed, is marked by anxiety, doubt, and personal commitment. Truth is subjectivity. Kierkegaard's exploration of despair, freedom, and faith laid the groundwork for 20th century existentialism. His writings challenge readers to live passionately and face existence honestly. Friedrich Nietzsche was a German philosopher who challenged traditional morality, religion, and philosophy, seeing them as expressions of life-denying values. He called for a revaluation of values and celebrated the will to power, a drive for self-overcoming. He famously said that God is dead, meaning that traditional religious frameworks no longer hold authority for many people in modern life. In their place, he proposed the Übermensch, an ideal of self-creating, life-affirming individuality. Nietzsche's style and insights helped shape existentialism, postmodernism, and psychology. His work confronts readers with the challenge of creating meaning in a disenchanted world. Karl Jaspers was a German psychiatrist and philosopher who emphasized the limits of scientific and objective knowledge. For him, true understanding of human existence arises through boundary situations like death, suffering, and guilt, moments that reveal life's depth. He believed in a philosophy of existence rooted in communication and transcendence. Humans are not just objects in the world, but also subjects open to the infinite, seeking meaning beyond empirical facts. Jaspers held that genuine freedom and authenticity require confronting life's ultimate concerns. Though respectful of religious faith, he emphasized philosophical openness rather than dogma. His existentialism is deeply dialogical and humane. Martin Heidegger was a 20th century German philosopher perhaps best known for his exploration of being. In his major work, Being and Time, he asked a fundamental question: what does it mean to be? He argued that philosophy had forgotten this question and aimed to recover it through a deep analysis of human existence. Heidegger described human beings as beings who are aware of their own existence and can question it. He emphasized our lived experience, our finiteness, and our relationship to time and death. We are thrown into a world we did not choose, yet we are responsible for how we live. Authenticity comes from facing our mortality and freely choosing our path in full awareness of death. He was critical of modern technology and how it reduces the world to mere resources. Though controversial for his political ties, Heidegger's work deeply influenced existentialism, phenomenology, and postmodern thought, making him one of the most challenging and famous thinkers of the 20th century. Jean-Paul Sartre was a French philosopher who proclaimed that existence precedes essence. Humans are not born with a fixed nature, but define themselves through action. We are radically free, and with freedom comes the burden of responsibility. In Being and Nothingness, he analyzed consciousness as nothingness, always reaching beyond itself. He explored concepts like bad faith, self-deception to avoid freedom, and authenticity, living in accordance with one's self-chosen values. Sartre rejected religion as unnecessary for meaning. Instead, he called on individuals to create meaning through engagement, solidarity, and political action. His existentialism is both a philosophy of freedom and a call to commitment. Maurice Merleau-Ponty was a French philosopher who focused on the body as the primary site of experience. Against Cartesian dualism, he argued that perception is always embodied. We experience the world through our living, sensing bodies. In Phenomenology of Perception, he emphasized that consciousness is not detached, but intertwined with the world. We are not minds with bodies, but bodily beings in meaningful contact with reality. He linked perception with language, art, and intersubjectivity, making his philosophy deeply humanistic. The French philosopher opened new ways to understand self, subjectivity, and society, bridging phenomenology, psychology, and aesthetics. Simone de Beauvoir was a 20th century French philosopher and a key figure in existentialism and feminism. Like Jean-Paul Sartre, she believed that humans are not born with a fixed essence. We become who we are through our actions and choices in a world without predetermined meaning. Her most famous work, The Second Sex, argued that one is not born but rather becomes a woman. She explored how society constructs femininity and how women have historically been treated as the other in relation to men. Liberation, for her, means rejecting passive roles and embracing active responsibility. Beauvoir believed in the importance of freedom. Simply acknowledging that we are free is not enough. We must actively choose to embrace our freedom and take responsibility for our choices, which includes recognizing and promoting the freedom of others. Her work helped lay the foundation for modern feminism and continues to influence debates on gender, identity, and human freedom. Albert Camus was a French philosopher who focused on the absurd, the conflict between our search for meaning and the silent, indifferent universe. In The Myth of Sisyphus, he asked whether life is worth living and answered with defiant affirmation. Though he rejected traditional religion and nihilism alike, he called for revolt. Meaning must be made in the act of living, in solidarity with others, and in appreciation of life's beauty despite its fragility. The French philosopher saw freedom, passion, and justice as important values. His work is lyrical, moral, and existential, urging us to live authentically in a world without guarantees.